Hello, and welcome to another whiskey tasting with me, Don Kavanagh. I'm the editor of Wine Searcher. It's September, so that means it's Bourbon Appreciation Month. We're very fond of bourbon at Wine Searcher, and I'm personally very fond of it. I've had a long and rewarding relationship with it now for a good 25 years. So to celebrate bourbon's special time, we thought we'd try some special bourbons. And the first one we're going to try is Basil Hayden. Now, Basil Hayden is very important for a couple of reasons. Firstly, Basil Hayden himself was a very influential distiller at the end of the 18th century and the start of the 19th century. And he's one of the few people in history to have two different brands of bourbon named after him. So there's Basil Hayden, this one obviously, and Old Grandad, which was named after him by his grandson, obviously, in his honour. Now, Basil Hayden's also important because this was one of the first of the small batch whiskies released by Beam back in 1992. This was a range of whiskies specially chosen. They were under the brands Baker's, Basil Hayden, Booker's, and Knob Creek, and they consequently became very famous among whiskey lovers around the world for their consistent excellence. They also proved that bourbon whiskey could be just as impressive and just as expensive at times as single malt scotch. So let's get into it and see what it's like. Let's have a look at it first. It's a beautiful colour, as you'd expect. It's been aged for about 8 years in charred new oak casks, new American oak that is. So it will have that traditional kind of vanilla butterscotchy kind of character on the nose, and that's there in spades. Also, the mash involved in this uses quite a lot of rye, more than usual, so you do get a little lifted, slightly peppery note on there, which is quite nice. It just leavens that sweetness and richness of traditional bourbon, of the corn heavy bourbons. It's a lovely nose. It's got some nice stewed fruit character on there, sort of apples, hints of pear even. But also lovely underneath, it's got nice kind of baking spice characters. So it's got a touch of cinnamon, nutmeg, a little hint of demerara sugar. Very, very smart on the nose. Let's see what it tastes like. Very smooth indeed, mouth-filling, almost oily on the palate. Again, lots and lots of stewed fruit and baking spice on the palate. A lovely peppery note. It just makes it feel like it's dancing across your tongue. And the finish, beautiful, rich, warming, almost a hint of beeswax or almost furniture polishy note, if you know what I mean. Very, very nice whiskey. Very smart, crisp, beautiful integration. Everything's in there together. The oak, the char, the spice characters, the peppery characters, the fruit characters. And it's almost impossible to tell where one starts and the next and finishes and the next one begins. Nice smoky touch to it as well. It's very, very smart whiskey. It doesn't get a lot of the kind of spotlight, to be honest, Basil Hayden, but it's well worth checking out. Beautiful. Anyway, cheers and have a great bourbon month.